When will we see more colors, colors? Don't know what that U is doing in there.
Oh yeah!
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Two Beers with Ritchey, the show where you have questions and we have answers. For anything Ritchey, all things bike, plus a little extra. Today's episode is brought to you by a beer. Upon its first introduction, was released in small wine bottles. Later, made popular by the introduction of a 7-ounce bottle known as the Pony. This use of unique bottle design led to it being one of the most popular beers on the market today. The beer that which I speak of is Miller High Life. Woo! All right, let's get to your questions. When will we see more colors, colors? Don't know what that U is doing in there, for the Outback? I would love to know myself. We usually introduce a single colorway as the primary color for a new frame, and then we'll offer a secondary color, usually in the second run. Next run of Outback will be the Breakaway Outback. That's right, you've heard it here first. We're doing a Breakaway Outback, so start saving your pennies. But until then, our next run of Outbacks will probably be in that same guac crema colorway. Releasing any other new products anytime soon? Well, yeah. We're releasing a new bar that should be out later this summer. We're releasing another frame later on this year. Yeah, there's a few new things in the works, so stay tuned. Is there a way to look up my Ritchey by serial number? Yes. So if your frame was released in the last 5 to 7 years, we will have a serial number and we can look it up by manufacture date. Before then, we don't have great records. There is a website that you can look at. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's called oldmountainbikes.com or oldmountainbike.com. You can Google it. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll have a link in the comment section below. And that was compiled by First Flight Cycles. It's very comprehensive. There's a lot of old catalogs in there, but then there's also a really good Ritchey history for serial numbers. So I highly recommend that you check them out. Should I grab a set of wide gravel bars on my Urban Fixed, parentheses, someday again, end parentheses, bar bike? Oh, gravel, fixie, bar bike. Sounds a lot like something called track lacrosse. Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't know. It's a bar bike, right? You want to be comfortable, and in no way am I advocating that you drink beers and go ride your bike afterwards. But if you ride your bike and drink beer afterwards, I don't see that being a problem. Do you have a duck? I don't know what that means. Is that code for something? Is there a possibility to bring the Swiss Cross Titanium back into production lineup? All right. So we get a lot of questions and a lot of requests for a Thai bike. So we stopped doing Thai mainly because it was a production issue. The cost was too high. We introduced the Carbon Road Breakaway and the Carbon Outback Breakaway. Both took over for performance of our Thai bikes. Also, offering a carbon bike in place of a Thai bike seemed a lot more feasible for us. Furthermore, Tom has very high production standards. So if a factory can't meet his demands, he won't mess around with it. And we just couldn't find a Thai manufacturer that we're happy with. That went by too quickly. Why Ritchey doesn't make internal cabling? Or opinion for this, please. Here we go. Internal cabling. What you should know is Tom is against internal cable routing. If you have a favorite mechanic at your local bike shop, they're probably against internal cable routing. It's a total pain in the butt to work on. Specifically with steel frames, you gotta cut a hole in the tube, and then you gotta braze it, and then run whatever in there. With carbon, you can get away with it a little bit more because you're molding the material around your ports into your frame. So when you cut a hole in the tube, ultimately you're weakening it, right? So you don't want to do that. And unless you're also putting like a housing guide in there or something, then running your cables through there, eesh, it's just such a pain in the butt. In general, functionality of internal cable routing just isn't great. Also, it just makes your bike heavier. So, no good, no nice, no can do. No, we can't go for that. No can do. Let's see what else there is in the lineup. Will you explain the reason for the long stays, extra O's, on the Outback? Yeah, I think that the whole short stay thing is kind of malarkey. This whole ultra tucked, pushing your rear wheel as far forward as possible. Frankly, I don't totally understand it. The type of riding that I think most people are doing doesn't call for that. Furthermore, what you're doing is you're really truncating the amount of clearance that your bike has. And aside from clearance, when you lengthen the stays, you ultimately lengthen the wheelbase. When you're talking about riding off-road, you don't want something that is just a super twitchy feeling or like sliding around underneath you. You kind of want a little bit more confidence. And that's where a little bit longer bike helps. Again, we aren't talking about like a foot. We're talking about, I don't know, mils, right? Possibly up to a centimeter or so. Are you going to immediately notice like, oh, my stays are so long? No, you aren't. You're going to get on the bike and you're going to be like, holy moly, this bike's ripping right now. And then you're going to go home and tell your friends, hey, I was ripping on my bike. And then they're going to be like, yeah, you're ripping on your bike. But long stays, better handling off-road, more tire clearance, better time on the bike, impressing your friends. Yeah, that's the reason for the long stays in the Outback. Okay, well, that looks like all of the questions that we've had today. So thanks for writing in. Again, anytime you have any questions, reach out to us. I'm always happy to answer them. If I can't answer them, there's someone here that can. Slide into our DMs on Instagram at RitcheyLogic. Shoot us an email, ritcheydesign@ritcheylogic.com. Until next time, keep riding, stay safe, enjoy yourself, respect each other, and we'll talk to you soon.